December 17th, 2025. Let's see how many times this strategy came into effect today. And I want you to notice these yellow. This is from a Fibonacci retracement. We had two significant things I want to talk about happen besides the strategy, and we're going to cover those first after we look at the bias. But I just want you to keep these yellow lines in mind. This is a Fibonacci retracement. We're going to be talking about this because Fibonacci's can be quite beautiful sometimes. We start off by looking at the momentum, and so we can gauge kind of a bias. So this is the MACD for the daily chart. And what's happening? Before today happened, before this red bar happened here, what information did we have? We had the information that the selling pressure is increasing. So we've got a heavy downward bias before the market even opens. Before the market even opens. Okay? Keep that in mind. So now, let's run the strategy, but before we do, knowing that we've got a downward bias on the market, before we run the strategy, Trader Kane...
Price is tumbling, yeah? All I want to see is price trade into 50% of the range here, and then 50% of this range, and all I want is this move right here, because at that point, even though the trend is this is the trend, if this is going to continue to here, great. If it's not, it's most likely going to reverse from here. Yeah. So all I need is this move right here. I don't need to trade from here to here because this is a risky move. You know, and I don't need to try and grab this because this is fighting the overall downtrend that we're currently in. Yeah. So I only need to do that. So how do I do that, right?
Is a famous trader, and he made a lot of money, and he still makes a lot of money to this day. And today his strategy came into effect, which is if NQ, if the NASDAQ has a big sell-off like this, he loves a particular strategy where he waits for half of the recovery of this move, which would be around here on this purple line, which happens to be last week's low. Think about that for a second. So Trader Kane waits for a sell-off. Then he waits for a retracement to reach halfway of that full sell-off. And he just straight up, you know, sometimes he just enters a short position, but most of the time he'll wait for some clues, like in the volume, in the 1 minute chart, etc. Other times he'll just straight up place a sell order. Okay? And then he tries to capture half of this half. So we had the full move here. We look for a half, and then we try to capture half of that. That's how Trader Kane made millions. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say. That's how Trader Kane made millions of dollars in profit. Not from a single trade, but from doing a series of trades, because that's how consistent that strategy is that I just told you. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right, we got a market open on the blue line here. And we look at our 5-minute twins. That's our first step. We want our 5-minute twins to be in alignment. We want them to be in harmony. And by that I mean the momentum. So this is the extended hours for the 5-minute. We've got downward momentum right here at this market open, denoted by this vertical blue line. And then we look at the 5-minute regular, and what do you know? We have downward momentum already primed. By the time we get a large selling candle, which is right here on this, bear with me one moment, right here on this this vertical red line, okay? We get an entry signal, which is this large volume bar on the right side of the 2-minute MACD. So I'm going to make this more transparent for now, and then we're going to come back to it later. Your entry would have been right here at the close of this candle. You would have had your stop loss right here. And then your take profit would have been either a 2-to-1 or a 1-to-1 ratio, allowing for runners to run if it happens. And I want you to look at how much the runners would have captured. So the reason I wanted to make this clear is because this amount of money is life-changing money. You sell the majority of your position at your target, but then you keep a little bit of the position going, and that little bit that keeps going makes up for all of the losses that you take. It makes up for all of the failures that you inevitably will make, little mistakes that lead to failures. And those failures give you the chance to learn and chance to improve. If you don't manage your position correctly and allow for runners, how are you ever going to make this huge money right here? Let me give you an example. If you're trading contracts of NQ futures, and maybe you buy 5 contracts, you sell 4 at your target, and you allow 1 to run, that one NQ contract from here to here would have made thousands of dollars. Not hundreds, thousands. Like maybe 1,000 to 2,000, maybe around $1,400 or something like that. So it's something to keep in mind. That's one of the crucial lessons that makes somebody profitable and successful over time, is being able to have runners. Okay, so that was the first strategy coming into effect. And then we had another opportunity here when Trader Kane's strategy came into effect. Big sell-off, halfway up. If you were to enter a sell, which again, this purple line denotes last week's low. So this is a hypercritical level right here. Okay, and we're not on the right side of the 2-minute V yet, so it's risky, but it's not that strategy. This is Trader Kane's strategy. And it would have resulted in a huge win as well, because the runners would have never come back. Thousands and thousands of dollars on just a single NQ contract. My strategy didn't come into effect until here. So we're on the right side of the 2-minute V. We popped down. Not a clean 2-minute V. It's ugly. We don't like this. But it's a power volume bar nonetheless. But look, the 5-minute is not going with us. Is it? Do you see this 5-minute histogram? It's going up. That's not going down with the trade. So we skip this setup. We want to wait till the 5-minute is aligned. What happens right here? Now the 5-minute is aligned. The 5-minute histogram is popped back down on both. Because by now, the twins are synced up. In the beginning, at market open, they are not synced up. So you have to wait for that event to occur. Anyway, the 5-minute MACD flipped down. Now we have confirmation. Look what happens right here. We get a volume bar greater than the previous 3. We're on the right side of the 2-minute V. We're moving down on the 2-minute MACD. You enter your position right here at the close of the candle. You put your stop loss above. Target a 2-to-1 or a 1-to-1. And then you let your runners run. And your runners would have made a lot of money. This is why people make a lot of money in trading, is because every once in a while, maybe 20% of the time or 10% of the time, you're going to get trades where they just keep going and you get to just make money like you wouldn't believe. And it seems too good to be true. I know. A lot of things in life seem too good to be true until you're doing it. That's why it's important to teach others and tell others what you learn when you learn things. And it's important to make mistakes and learn from your mistakes. Forget what anybody else says. Take it into account, do your best, but follow your own heart. Down here, after this huge sell-off, after this huge win, I noticed a tapering, a consolidation was occurring, so I drew these lines. Look how the price action obeyed these lines later on. See this critical level here that I was determining. I was just feeling it. You can kind of tell these things broke through the liquidation, bounced back right to that same level. Through to that same level again. Look at this. This is a critical zone of mutual interest. Broke down, consolidated even further. So this was technically like another portion of the wedge right there, you could say, like that. And I don't trade the middle of the market, so I was just pointing this out. I do not trade the middle of the market right now at this current time. So right at the last hour when I come back to trade is right here. So let's go over and see if there was any more strategy hits. And then we're going to go over, we went over Trader Kane's strategy already. The last thing we're going to go over is just the Fibonacci levels. We're going to come back to that. That's one last thing. Where are we at the 5-minute? 5-minute, we're in the green. We're building upward momentum. This is right when we come back. I only trade the last hour of the market right now. And sometimes I'll trade a little bit early. Like today, I did take a trade a little bit early, 15 to 20 minutes earlier before the last hour. This was one of them right here. I saw upward momentum building still. We had a pop-up. We had a power volume bar as denoted by this right here, greater than the previous 3. That's my entry signal. So I entered right here at the close of the candle. Right here I entered. And I targeted a 2 to 1 for majority of my position. So I took most profit right here and got the majority win. And then I cut losers when it broke down here. And then the next time that the strategy comes into effect is right here. This last 10 minutes, which you know is my favorite. I love trading the last 10 minutes of the market more than anything. It's very exhilarating. Look what happens right here. We have a tapering on the 5-minute. We have a big sell-off occurring right now at this current time, happening during this fat candle. We've got weakness in the 2-minute MACD, a lot of weakness. And then we're flipping down. We have a huge selling candle. So your entry is right here at that close. And then you would take partials, take a little profit here, take some profit here. If it reaches here, take profit. This is the last 10 minutes of the day. Anything can happen. You want to take profit quicker than normal. I didn't take the trade. I wanted to take the trade. My intuition told me to take the trade, which is why I marked it right here. That's what all of these lines mean. Anytime you see a line, that means somewhere that my intuition was telling me, hey, this is probably going to go up for blue. Or if you see red, it's probably going to go down from here. Or if you see yellow, it means this is a trade I actually took. All of that being said, I hope you have a good day. Thanks for clicking on the video. Take care.